because like the whole principle of existentialism is the idea of the absurd and not questioning it. The whole thing, the whole idea is that like there's no meaning in the universe at all.
Okay, I
And
see.
humans as a species should not even try to discover it because we're not going to find any answers. We are trying to
Is
find answers in an answerless world, and I fully believe that philosophy.
you do? Right. So are you still technically a religious person though, or what are your thoughts on this?
I
Thing?
am.
You are.
I am a religious person. Uh, I would
Oh.
call myself a religious person at least.
Alright.
I mean, I've actually been questioning a lot about stuff like that. I've actually been going to a youth group a lot more recently, and we've been talking about like how we can fully believe in a religion and how we can like actually like think about it. And that's actually been very eye-opening to me, especially
Yeah.
since like you have other different world religions. It's like, why can't we believe in them? Because what makes us better? And like we've been actually like analyzing the history of religion,
Mhm.
which definitely is very interesting to talk about. That's something that I never got to like fully discuss.
Really.
And like we're mainly talking about like the stuff that makes Christianity hard to get into, and I love that.
No, I get that said. Whenever I was
Mhm.
like in my youth group thing, like usually most of the time, we would just talk about like how things worked and how just the miracles and all that stuff. Like there's just a lot of stuff that we talked about, but after all that, I kind of learned more about it just on my own, like free time by accident. Because when I was younger, I kind of just followed along, you know what I mean? Because that's what every younger kid does. They kind of follow
Yeah.
along with like their parents or etc. But then once you get like to an older like almost to your teenage years, that's when you actually discover things for yourself and you like relook at like what they cherish and you find what you truly believe in like your own standpoint. You stand on your own ground, and it's good that you were able to take time to learn more about yourself and what you believe in.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen Death Note? This is just a random question. Just makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I've seen the whole series.
I hope
Yeah.
I'm sitting like L right now. I know, like it's kind of comfortable for me.
I had to write a poem
Yeah.
for English.
Mhm.
It was called "Nothing Is All I Have," and it's a poem kind of talking about monotony and just how things become monotonous.
Yeah.
I'll read it to you. The bleak days of December cover me in an aurora of unease. Days and nights become faded under the Christmas trees. Sitting in a chair I've never seen before, besides a few minutes ago. I may have sat in it, but by my knowledge, I don't know. My field of view is eclipsed by my lack of foresight, creating a divide between my desires and will. This world becomes hazy in my catacomb. Nothing is all I have to guide me on. Next stanza. People become shapes, shapes become colors, nothing stands out, everything is the same. Tried and true in a monotonous loop, dedicated to live how I did before. This last strands of sanity I have been dissected many years ago. The haze grows stronger, the fog grows thicker, light and dark begin to have the same effect. The brain fried like an egg, ate up by the demons that are here. If you take a closer examination, nothing is all I have dear.
Hmm. All right.
So like, that's kind of where I'm at right now.
I like that. I would like to share with you a small like one-page paper I had to write recently, and it was about how people are biased towards the way you look or like the way you talk or etc. Like how people make
So basic prejudice and
yeah.
everything.
You're not the same person that you think you are compared to like your friend or somebody else. Like the bad things you see about yourself they see are good, or the good things you see about yourself they see as bad. And I just find that stuff so fascinating. So what I said is, I think people most likely judged me for the people I hung out with, as well as how my like exes and ex-friends labeled me as. Looking back on it, I left my junior high friend group of 7 and up years at the end of my 8th grade year because I outgrew them and I didn't enjoy hanging out with them. Looking back on it, they never were kind and used me as someone to talk to when they had problems. The way they judged me after I left the group was quite harsh. Some things that were common occurrence were small things blown out of proportions. No matter how nice I was during the time period, they still enjoyed stirring the pot of drama. I was never someone who'd tolerate drama. In fact, I was the one solving drama the majority of the time. I never knew it, but being with them kept me sheltered from having an actual fun and independence. While being in that friend group, people who didn't know me labeled me as a nerd more than likely. Leaving them and not being afraid to was one of my proudest moments of high school. By doing this, I was able to focus on myself with my goals and my hobbies. By the end of 8th grade, I was truly feeling happy with who I was and who I wanted to be. Did I miss them? Yeah, of course. I missed the days and the ways I thought they were. Did they miss me? Most definitely. But people say imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. And soon after I left, many others broke apart from that group. Looking back on the memories, you'd think they would be great memories, but when I look back at them, I didn't truly start making great memories till I changed my mindset. Going forward from them, I knew it would take a while for people to stop associating me with that kind of old friend group. But I was excited still. Going into freshman year, I began to gain more confidence in myself and my hobbies. Even if it was only a little bit, it was a start. My freshman year, people labeled me as having hedgehog hair because I decided I would look cool with hair sticking straight up with gel. I was still super awkward with social interactions, looking people in the eyes. As the years went by, I gained confidence in myself, figured out my style, and people have a much different outlook on me. And my old friend group feels like a distant, nostalgic memory. People who knew me through the years know I'm one of the nicest people ever. Hobbies I've picked up through my years of individualism include playing the ukulele, producing music, producing videos, creating fan base of YouTube with friends all across the world, and I'm enjoying concepts created by philosophers. In the end of the day, you are the villain of someone else's story, so you should never worry what people say about you, because in the end of the day, you being happy is all that matters. And so that's why I wrote for that and turned that in just yesterday.
That's not bad at all.
One thing I enjoy about having conversations with you is you and we think more than the average person sometimes. The days have grown by, and I'm starting to hate social media each day, like more and more. Like I realize how pointless it is and how it's become like a slave, like how people have become a slave to technology. It's just bad.
Fully believe in that. It's like, of course I'm guilty with it.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
but
yeah, we're both hypocrites for that, but
the problem is our generation really can't control it just because that is the technological advances that we grew up with.
Mm-hmm.
So it's nothing that we can fully control, especially since when the first iPhone came out, we were born into a society that has become more and more reliant on technology as we speak, and more tragic events are being televised, and mass hysteria and paranoia is being produced from those certain events. So we are becoming sheep in a system that is treating us like it. We are becoming human slaves to our own government, and it's kind of stupid.
No, exactly. And the thing is that if you are a social media influencer, some reason your opinion just matters more than the regular person out of nowhere, and that's one of the most bogus things ever. Because in the end of the day, they're just like us. They don't have anything more special than we do. We're one of the lucky ones who actually made it.
Because it's all part of the algorithm, really. There was a great documentary, and it was about the making of The Man on the Moon. And it's with Jim Carrey.
Mm-hmm.
And it's about his descent into madness, trying to imitate his personal idol, Andy Kaufman, throughout the whole movie, and his struggle trying to remain in character on set. And it's quite a fascinating documentary into his mindset of how to portray roles as an actor, and what costs it could have to you mentally. And it's quite a fascinating documentary.
I'd actually love to see that, because he in the video I was watching, he was talking just about that. He was like, he was talking about how if you try to be somebody else, you either are forced to forfeit your body and become somebody else that you're trying to become, or you can stop and actually truly find who you are. And I just find that stuff so fascinating.
Because the thing is, he got that from experience.
Oh wait, no, most definitely. Starting out, people used to call him crazy for the things he did, like his ideas, but everybody's kind of saying now, oh wow, this guy's actually saying pretty smart things. So,
yeah, no, he's quite the adventurous man.
Oh, most definitely. His entire house is painted pretty much.
Yeah, but no, it's like throughout the whole entire filming of the Man on the Moon movie, he was entirely in character. He was never himself.
Mm-hmm.
So he intentionally, to stay in the mindset of his idol, acted like his idol for the whole shooting of that movie. And it broke him to a certain degree because he had a giant identity crisis.
Oh yeah.
Like, after the making of the movie, and he had to go find himself, which that like despair and sadness led him to get one of his most dramatic roles ever in Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, which is one of my favorite movies ever.
Well said. Because I remember at one point, he kind of just disappeared from making videos and then like making movies, and that was kind of around the time, and it's crazy to see how much he's changed as a person. Like I've watched a lot of videos of him talking about like his ideals, and it's very interesting. Like I got to send you, like after this video, I got to send you a link to it.
He's an interesting guy. He's
Most
a really
definitely.
interesting guy. Nick and Adam talk philosophy.
Oh my, I love philosophy. I mean, I've been getting really into it recently. So I mean,
Yeah,
it's something I've
I
been
have
doing a
been
lot in
too.
my free time. Said because for a while I was kind of in a pretty dark state, and I was for a few months. But I feel like I'm just now starting to get out of it again. Because I was like I lost myself as a person. Like I was starting to lose motivation to do a lot of things. Like I was pretty close to quitting YouTube. Like all that stuff. It's just a mess.
It happens. It happens to the best of us.
I mean, really, because I realized no matter how much like other people are telling me, things are gonna be okay and stuff, I realized that, like it always is, it's your own adventure that you have to, go on to like find yourself. You know what I mean? There's an extent.
And according to Nick Wegner himself, it could be meaningless in the eyes of the beholder.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a very fascinating like discussion whether or not life is worth it.
Exactly. Honestly, it would be cool to bring him in here with us, Nick and Nick. What if we got Nick and Adam and Adam?
That would be a hellscape.
Terrible duo, because there'd be two Nicks and two Adams, and there'd be the Adam group and the Nick group, and we could talk. But
Bro, it's like Nick and Adam squared.
exactly.
Nick squared plus Adam squared equals this.
Honestly, I would enjoy it. I would enjoy having that.
There's a lot we can talk about. There's a lot of different groundbreaking ideologies, whether it comes from the philosophies of different philosophers around the world, or religious ideologies
Oh,
that
no,
have been
exactly.
born throughout that can be discovered.
What I think would be cool is if we would be able to like choose a philosopher and just like have a conversation about what he believed in for like a good solid like podcast.
Oh boy, that's a lot of research.
Well, I think we should end this podcast here. All right. Well, thank you guys for watching. Bye bye.